Welcome back to EtherLink AI Insights. I'm Alex, and today we're diving into something pretty unconventional, an AI retreat in Finnish Lapland. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would executives trade their corner offices for the Arctic wilderness? But there's actually fascinating science behind this. Sam, what drew you to this story?
Great question, Alex. The headline alone intrigued me. AI Retreat Finland, Executive Reset and Leadership Transformation. But the real story is about a genuine leadership crisis. McKinsey's data shows 55% of organizations have adopted AI, yet only 28% of executives actually feel confident governing it. That's a massive gap, and it's not being solved by traditional consulting.
Right, so there's this confidence vacuum. And the blog argues that the problem isn't just knowledge, it's the environment where executives try to learn. Can you unpack that a bit?
Absolutely. Research from the University of Copenhagen shows 73% of C-suite executives experience decision fatigue when tackling complex AI concepts in high-pressure urban environments. Think about it. Emails pinging, back-to-back meetings, constant digital noise. Your brain literally can't do deep learning under those conditions. It's neuroscience, not motivational speaking.
So Lapland isn't just a nice getaway. There's actual cognitive science at play here?
Exactly. The midnight sun, the forest bathing, minimal digital distraction. These conditions activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is basically your brain's learning mode. Neuroscientists call it cognitive reset conditions. AetherTravel is essentially hacking human neurobiology to make transformation possible.
That's compelling. But let's get practical. Why is timing so critical right now? What's the urgency?
The EU AI Act. It goes into full enforcement in 2026. That's less than 18 months away. Statworks found that only 31% of European companies have even started building governance frameworks required for compliance. Leaders are facing an existential deadline, and they're not prepared.
So this isn't some luxury escape dressed up as professional development. It's actually addressing a real regulatory and competitive crisis.
Right. And here's where it gets interesting. You can't learn AI governance in a webinar or a PowerPoint deck. You need immersive engagement with real scenarios, expert mentorship, and psychological safety to ask hard questions without boardroom politics. That's what the 7-day model provides.
Walk us through what actually happens during this retreat. What does a typical day look like?
So, the first 48 hours are about cognitive decompression and foundational AI literacy. We're talking agentic AI systems, autonomous agents that are going to transform their organizations by 2026, context engineering, vertical AI applications, and then the practical EU AI Act compliance pathways. It's foundational but immediately applicable.
And then what after the foundation is laid?
Days 3 through 5 are where it becomes really tangible. Each participant gets a dedicated AI mentor. Together, they build a custom AI agent for their specific department. Maybe it's marketing automation, maybe it's governance ops. They develop what's called the Golden Prompt Stack, which is basically a curated library of high-performance prompts tailored to their exact business challenges.
So it's not abstract learning. They're literally building tools they'll use when they get back to the office?
Precisely. And that's the key differentiator. They're not just hearing about AI, they're implementing it. They're creating custom governance frameworks aligned with EU AI Act requirements, designing AI agents for their actual departments, and developing what we call AI lead architecture, the governance rigor combined with creative vision that separates leaders from laggards in AI adoption.
Let me push back a bit. Some executives might say, I don't have time for a week-long retreat in Finland. I need solutions now. How do you respond to that?
That's actually the wrong framing. You don't have time not to do it. If you're one of the 72% of executives feeling unconfident about AI governance, and you've got 18 months before EU enforcement, a traditional 2-day offsite won't cut it. The neurological and psychological benefits of immersion, the cognitive reset, the psychological safety, the expert mentorship, these aren't luxuries. They're prerequisites for the kind of transformation required.
Interesting. So you're saying this is actually a time investment that saves time later?
Completely. 7 days away from the noise, working with dedicated mentors, building actual AI governance frameworks, that's accelerated transformation. You could spend 18 months in traditional consulting, or you could compress real learning and implementation into an immersive week. The math is clear.
What about organizations that don't have executive-level AI expertise yet? Can they participate in something like this?
That's actually who this is designed for. You don't need to be an AI expert to benefit. In fact, the research suggests fresh perspectives sometimes work better. What you need is executive decision-making authority, a real business challenge in front of you, and the willingness to be uncomfortable for a week. The mentors guide the learning. The organization provides the context.
So the real value isn't just the knowledge transfer, it's the combination of expert mentorship, peer learning with other executives, and the neurological benefits of the environment?
Exactly. You've got executives from different industries, different regulatory environments, all facing the same AI governance and compliance challenges. The peer learning is as valuable as the mentorship. Plus, you're doing this in an environment that's literally optimized for deep thinking. That combination is rare.
Let's talk about the EU AI Act angle specifically. How does the retreat actually prepare people for compliance?
They don't just learn the regulations, they build frameworks. They're mapping high-risk AI systems, developing governance protocols, creating documentation for high-risk categorization. By day 7, they've got a compliance roadmap specific to their organization. That's not abstract knowledge. That's a deliverable they can implement immediately.
And the agentic AI piece? That seems to be a big focus. Why is that relevant to European executives right now?
Because autonomous AI agents are coming, and they're going to be transformative, but they're also high risk from a governance perspective. An autonomous agent making decisions on behalf of your organization needs ironclad governance frameworks. Leaders need to understand how to deploy them safely while maintaining compliance. That's not a future problem, it's happening now.
So the retreat isn't preparing people for AI as it exists today. It's preparing them for AI as it will be in 18 months to 2 years?
Yes, and that's the insight that drives the urgency. The leaders who are going to thrive in European AI adoption are those who combine governance rigor with creative vision. They understand both the regulatory landscape and the technological opportunity. That's a rare skill set, and it's being built, not inherited.
Final question. What's the most surprising insight from this?
Honestly, that neuroscience is driving executive development strategy. For decades, we've assumed learning happens best in sterile conference rooms or video calls. But the data says it doesn't. Your brain learns differently in a cognitively reset environment. That's not soft, that's hard science, and it's reshaping how top organizations develop their leaders.
Really compelling stuff. For listeners wanting to dig deeper into this, including the full breakdown of the 7-day retreat structure and the specific AI governance frameworks being taught, head over to etherlink.ai and find the full article. Sam, thanks for breaking this down.
Always a pleasure, Alex. This one's worth the read, especially if you're an executive feeling that confidence gap we talked about.
That's EtherLink AI Insights. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.